Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. I will not be soliciting you for anything. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Excuse me. Now let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. Now let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay, 3. Fantastic. And then let's see what energy we need to be mindful of during this time, Gemini. What energy does Gemini need to be mindful of? March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. What energy does Gemini need to be mindful of? March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start with your chakra energy. We have visualization. This is the third eye chakra. Then we have self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. And finally, we have rebirth, the earth star chakra, located 6 inches below the feet. The energy we are to be mindful of is the chariot, which is Cancer energy, time frame June 21st to July 22nd. And Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 21st. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be a Cancer and a Scorpio, but it's going to be the energy that these two represent during this time, which we'll get into in just a moment. Now, the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see here. And I just have to take a moment to show you these cards. They're absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you'll be seeing the front soon enough, or the back soon enough. But these are called The Stolen Child, based off the title from a Yeats poem, which is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of work. And these cards are made in Texas, so they are from a Texas artist, so you would be helping and supporting somebody in Texas after, everything that they have been through. So, and they're gorgeous. So I just wanted to give them just a little bit of love, a little bit of time to show how absolutely beautiful they are. So this is the Four of Wands, and then we have the Page. This is the Four of Swords. There we go. And then we have the Page of Swords, the Devil, and we have Judgment. So this line here, Gemini, wow, it's a bit intense. We have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy, December 22nd to January 19th. We have this beautiful rebirth here with the Judgment, which is also signified in the rebirth of the Chakra energy. Okay. Then we have the Star, which is Aquarius energy, very whimsical, very beautiful. The Seven of Brine, the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Oak, the Seven of Pentacles. The repeat of the number 7 here is truth is going to be intrinsically important to your heart. Okay, you're going to find that even if you say something, Gemini, just a little bit like not true, you'll find that you'll beat yourself up over it. Or people will call it out, but it's mostly going to be a you beating yourself up over it type of deal. And this is also going to be that you need people to be honest during this time. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't want to hear it, you need them to be honest. And then we have the Queen of Flames, the Queen of Fire. And that is, of course, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the Queen of Swords right here. So this is you coming through as a queen, which is spectacular. The Queen of Swords for me is the warrior queen. That with the Queen of Flame, it's like you're claiming what is right for you. Even if the rest of the world does not see it, it's not for everybody else. It is for you. And there is a sense here of cutting through so much of the muck and the mire to claim your strength and your power and your it's your voice, but it's the power of your breath. It's like owning your body in a absolutely incredible way. It brings us then to the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. Now, if you have Taurus within your chart, or if you're born on the cusp of Taurus, that's going to come through quite strongly. Taurus is the Hierophant, of course, Taurus energy, April 20th to May 20th. And then we have the High Priestess and the King of Pentacles. So you have here, this amplifies the Taurus energy coming forward, right? The King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You have 2 court cards and 2 major arcana cards. So this is astoundingly powerful. This is going to be a time that has a lot more packed to it than what you're expecting. And because it does have a lot more packed to it, there is an intensity to you that is really quite Spirit is saying life-changing, yeah, but it really does put things in order. And it's after there's a burst of chaos, a burst of, I don't know the order that I want, and I don't know where it is that I want to be. And it's interesting because you start off here as a page, as a student, right? The Page of Swords. And in the public arena, you see yourself inwardly as a student. It's like always learning, always kind of gaining a better understanding of things, but also not really seeing yourself as an expert. And then here we have you shining through as a queen, as a monarch, as a ruler. And that's the extraordinary thing. So let's look at your chakra energy. Visualization. This is the third eye chakra. Visualization is so important because when we visualize, all right, it's not that we're making things happen. It's that we're taking a moment to kind of carve new pathways within our minds, saying, I can do this. Because the mind does not know the difference between make-believe and reality, which, if we think about it, that's super scary. But it's also really quite beautiful, because our minds do not know if we're visualizing something. They don't know that we haven't already done it in a very real way. It's kind of like if a person lies to themselves, enough, right? They can begin to believe that lie. And this is why, because the mind says, if I believe it enough, it is true. So it's kind of like we're lying to ourselves. And that's going to be, Spirit is saying, that's going to be one of the things that we call ourselves out on. It's like, well, how can I say that I'm successful? How can I say that I'm powerful? How can I visualize my hopes and my dreams, and everything that I want when it's not true? So in the time of visualization, this is going to be a bit tricky because you're going to have yourself negating it right away. So just actively visualizing yourself embracing your prosperity, actively visualizing yourself walking down the road that you want, whether it's opening up a business or whether it's, getting a job or, finding the person that you want to be with. These things have tremendous power to them. And that's what you're focusing on here. Don't negate, because you're going to open up pathways within your mind where when it comes time to do it, when it comes time to live that dream, it's not scary. It's like, finally I can do this. It's going to be a little bit scary because it always is, but it's like, finally I can do this. And I'm not going to overthink. I'm not going to overanalyze. I'm going to jump forward with a surety of soul and self. So the visualization becomes really important. And that's going to be, again, something that is a bit battled with during this time, because you're going to think, well, that's not true. It is true. You just haven't gotten there yet. You're just not living that part of your reality yet. And then we have the self-mastery within the solar plexus chakra. This is a sense of things aligning, things falling into alignment with yourself, with your soul, with what you desire. This is a sense of listening to your gut in a very real and powerful way, and seeing things becoming openly and honestly you. And as you do this, you're seeing yourself in a very powerful light, in a very real light, in a very true light. And so here, with the self-mastery, you are embracing something greater than what you had realized before. And it's a sense of seeing yourself in a way where it's like, it's making sense. It's kind of like, oh, that's why I had to walk through that hell. That's why I had to experience that trauma. That's why I had to go through this. It's because I'm claiming this success, this prosperity, this bounty. And then we have rebirth. We are seeing ourselves reborn. This is the Earth Star Chakra located 6 inches below our feet. This is how we connect with the earth and with ourselves. And so here we are being reborn, and we see the same imagery used in judgment, the butterfly coming forward, and it's out of the cocoon, out of the chrysalis. And we have to prepare to go into the cocoon, right? I'm just thinking right now of the hungry caterpillar, he had to prepare to go into that cocoon. I watched that way too many times with my nephew. So here we have this rebirth coming forward. We have this power, we have this prosperity, we have this success, we have this bounty. But it's excuse me, it's a transformation that we are embracing. Let me just get a sip of water. I do apologize. Okay. So here, as we are embracing so much more, we're going to see ourselves become very different than the person we were before. And that is a good thing. It's also a scary thing. It can also be a very frustrating thing. It's because there's going to be that sentiment of, why couldn't I be there earlier? Like, why did I have to go through everything? And what's very interesting here is that the opposition that we are met with the chariot, it's like that person who mocks, that person who thinks, I have it all figured out. I know exactly the way that I'm moving forward. I'll run over anybody who gets in my path. And they make us feel bad about ourselves. But here's the thing. I remember I was reading this, I don't remember what, but the person said, nobody can make you feel bad about being you. That's something that happens because we are insecure. And I thought, rude. And then I realized they're right. They're right. If we were secure within ourselves, it could be like, okay, fine, you don't like my path, you don't like what I do, that's great. I'm not asking you to. I still get to move forward. This person is a bully. This person emotionally, psychologically attacks and is just going to plow over everything. Says, I don't care, I'm just going to go for it. And this is going to be where we need to step back and say, no, I'm not being bullied. I'm not being, threatened into anything. I am moving forward in my truth. And when we say our truth, it's like I'm moving forward in the world that I'm creating for me. My world does not have to be your world. It does not have to be the other person's world. It gets to be mine. And I get to create it the way that I want. Yes, I have to play in the real world, of course. But I get to create this world for me, where, rooms have roses in them because they're my favorite flowers, because the walls are, lilac because I want them to be. And they get to be my world, and you get to have your world. And this person is going to try and infringe on your world, which isn't cool. And then it brings us to the death card. And the death card is just a person who's rather ambivalent, but also not ambivalent. No, they're secretive. They hoard their secrets. And you're going to think they're ambivalent because they're not sharing with you, or you're going to think that they're super into what we're doing and how we're moving forward and everything that's going on, but they're actually just gathering up information. And when they're done gathering up information, they'll drop you like a hot potato. That's just what they do. So just be very mindful of this. This is a sneaky, underhanded person who will just plow over everybody when they want to. And it brings us to the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is having to honor what we have been through. And I like how kind of spooky it is, because the Four of Swords is looking at everything that we have been through within our lives, the blessings and the hardships and the pains and the disappointments and everything in between. And instead of saying, well, why couldn't I have? And why didn't I? It's saying, oh, that was harder than I thought it was. I've been through more than I imagined. I've overcome so much more than what I have realized. Because it's looking back at our life. And instead of saying, wow, I can't believe I failed, or I can't believe I was so stupid, or so this, or so that, all these not nice things, it's saying, wow, I really did have to endure a lot. I had to overcome a lot. I was tested more than I realized. And that's so important with the Four of Swords, because it's, if you can see it in here, you see the babies in the egg. It's the endless possibilities that come once we realize what is there, once we realize the gestational period of what we have been through. And it brings us to the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, and I love that she's in the rib cage, because the Page of Swords is the air sign. Air sign energy, which is, of course, you, Gemini. We are now claiming the power of the breath, the power of the words, the power of ourselves. And that's the extraordinary thing. So when we are a student, we're not only a student of how we want to move forward and where it is that we want to be and what it is that we need from life. We are a student of everything that we do. We are a student of every inhale and every exhale, and the power of the body and the power of the mind, and the sense of self and soul and determination. So here, we are growing into our breath, into our bodies, into ourselves in an extraordinary way. And it brings us, and we're also becoming students. Like here, we see ourselves as students. We don't see ourselves as masters. That's what other people see us. They see us like, we think we're apprentices. Others will think, okay, master craftsmen, right? So here, there's that sense of, I'm always going to be learning. I'm always going to be looking at things differently. I'm always going to be trying to push the envelope, or, embrace the truth, or dive deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and see what becomes. And that's a really great place to be, especially for a Gemini who is intrinsically just astoundingly curious. And it brings us then to the devil. And the devil, well, is in the details during this time. And for Geminis, the devil is in the details a lot of times, because we're good at the overarching sense of things, but maybe not as good at the fine details, or the fine details we can get absolutely caught up in and forget the overarching. So it'll go one extreme or another. We have to find that balance, or a way to balance things, even though we are extreme beings. And so here with the devil, there's also a sense of the chains that bind, of the hurts, the pains, the disappointments, the angers of the world that bind us one way or another, that say this way or that. It's also an understanding of chaos. Life is chaos. We can't plan for everything, nor should we want to, though it would be nice. It would be nice. And so here with the devil, we're breaking chains that have held us back for too long. We're breaking what doesn't fit anymore. We're looking at things, and instead of letting fear and chaos guide us, we're saying there is more here than I could have imagined. There is a greater truth forward than what I was seeing before. And as we break the chains, we find out that we are reborn. But the chains can be addiction. The chains can be, doubts and fears and always second guessing ourselves and worrying up and down the Mississippi. It can be so many things that are holding us back. But there's also a sense of like, will it destroy us? Because of course snakes eat rats, right? Rats, mice, that's exactly what they do. So will the fear destroy us? Or will we be able to escape the fear? Will we be able to escape the chaos? Will we be able to escape the doubts? And it moves us to judgment. And judgment is the resurrection of the self. It is the coming out of the box. And here you have the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. And remember, with the analogy of the hungry, hungry caterpillar, that caterpillar had to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat to prepare to go in to this metamorphosis. So what we're going through right now, and what we have been seeing, is everything that we have lived that is discomforting and even joyous has been filling us with the moral nourishment to go through the time of the chrysalis, to go through the time of metamorphosis. And this is a time where we find ourselves breaking out of barriers. And it can be that there's a frustration. It's like, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And you can kind of feel inside, kind of like a petulant child. And it's like you want to stomp your foot and say, no, 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 no. But you're not being a petulant child. Your spirit is telling you there's a way forward. Don't run off rashly, okay? Because that'll kind of ruin the game, ruin everything that spirit has been guiding us towards. What you're going to see here is there's this power, there's this understanding, and there's this transformation that brings new flight, that brings new ways forward, that brings us on an adventure that we hadn't thought we could go on, a way forward that we didn't think we could have. And it brings us to the star. And the star is the highest form of man's perfection. When we see the stars in the skies, when our ancestors saw the stars, they saw tremendous, overwhelming beauty. When you look up at night, especially if you live in a place that doesn't have a lot of light pollution, the stars are exquisite. And here, it's kind of feeling small within the vastness of the world. Not in a bad way, not in an insignificant way, but in a way that there's so much more out here than we realize. And the stars also, they look into our souls and ourselves. Because we have this relationship with the stars, where the stars became gods, where the stars mapped our paths. And here, there is a sense of them seeing into our souls, seeing what we deeply desire. There's a connection with divinity and our greatest wishes. And it can even be the wishes that we do not tell ourselves. What does my soul long for? What is it that I desire? How is it that I want to move forward? And there's a pull here within the heart. And it's like this pull towards the deepest wish of the self. And we can feel it coming, but it will not come as quickly as we would like it to. It will not come in the exact way that we want it to. And it moves us then to the Seven of Cups. It moves us to our dreams. Because when wishes come forward and when we start to really embrace the beauty and the exquisiteness that reality can bring, okay, that our world can bring. And it's not, the hustle and bustle and the human creation of the world, but it's in a flower, it's in mountains, it's in the stars, it's in, the winds, it's in this great expanse of being. And we start to look at our wishes. We start to look at our hopes and our dreams and everything in between. And we start to see what we've hidden away. What we've said, no, I can't do this. I don't know if I can live my dream. Or I don't know if I can live that dream. And what happens here is a powerful shift. Because it's starting to look at things and say, why cannot my dreams shine as brightly through my eyes, shine as brightly in my mind as the stars do in the sky? Why can't I move forward into grandeur? And it doesn't mean that we're all going to be movie stars and, rock stars or anything like that, like become household names. What it means is that we align ourselves like the stars align themselves with our faiths, to something greater, to why we were born, to the wishes that have been growing inside of our souls. And it brings us then to the Seven of Pentacles. And I love the baby in the womb, in the heart. So what is there? A commercial going around. I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought it was very beautiful. Where we were all born with, I think, 2 billion heartbeats. And that makes us an instant billionaire. I like that. I think that's very pretty. It's poetic, if not true, And so here, we're born with the heart beating in our bodies. We're born with this beauty of emotion and experience for however long. And then we have creation, that which we create within us. Life, art, expressions, ideas, masterpieces, seeds that are planted, glory that is had. And it's saying here, be patient. Be patient because you cannot rush what divinity is building within us. And it doesn't mean that we don't work towards it. It doesn't mean sit back on the couch, eat chips and just wait for it to happen. It means that there is a purpose here, and there is a dream that has been building, that has been growing inside of us. And it's saying here, don't think that the time has passed you by because it didn't happen when you thought it should happen. Don't think of that. Know that there is an extraordinary bounty coming forward, an extraordinary brilliance coming forward. And divinity will plant it into you and birth it forward exactly when it is supposed to be. And it brings us to the Queen of Flames. And the Queen of Flames always makes me think of Hestia. I always forget her name when I'm talking to you guys. Hestia, who is the goddess of the hearth in Greek mythology and also in Roman mythology. And she's my favorite goddess because after the after the Titans, the war between the Titans and the Olympians, there wasn't an equal amount of main gods and main goddesses. And so there was going to start to be fighting between the Olympic gods. And the extraordinary thing here in that story is that Hestia, the goddess of fire, said, no, I will not have another war. I will not have more hate and destruction. She put her foot down in a really exquisite way. And she said, I will step down. I do not need to be a main goddess. I'm fine with just being me. And when she stepped down, she became the goddess of the hearth. There was always a fire burning in Olympia. She was that goddess. We have the Vestal virgins and the fires that they kept. She was the goddess of that fire, right? She was the goddess within every single home, worshipped by every single person. It is sometimes not the loudest person, not the flashiest, not the showiest, that has the greatest impact, but the one that can stand for what is right, emotionally, spiritually, personally, and say, my fire still burns, and it will always burn. There is a brilliance here to that. The power of the Queen of Wands is to burn bright in her truth and in her glory. It is to say, my story matters, my being matters, my essence matters, and I rise to new heights. There is a passion here to roll up the sleeves, to say, this is who I am, and to be aligned with our hearts in a way that most of us never are, because we're too busy looking at the ensnarements of the world, not claiming our voices, not claiming our breath. Wim Hof's breathing exercises are linked in the description box below. Utilize them. Utilize them because we're looking at the hurts, the pains, the disappointments that we have been through. And instead of saying, I've mucked up, I can't possibly move forward the way that I want to, the way that I need in this world, we're going to say, wow, that prepared me. that prepared me for the fire burning bright, for the passion guiding me forward, for the world I hadn't expected, but for one where I shine brightly in existence, with more power than I realized. And it brings us to the Queen of Swords. It brings us to being the warrior queen of our existence, saying, this is me. This is where I stand. This is who I am. This is what I want. And I'm not putting up with bull. A lot of times, in a lot of decks, they have the Queen of Swords be rather harsh, the cruel queen. And I always don't like that because it's rude. But also because they don't realize that so much strength can come from embracing the knowledge of the self. From saying, but this is who I intrinsically am, and this is what I need. And I can't always be sacrificing myself for everybody else, because there will be nothing left of me. The Queen of Swords can be cold and she can be distant. She can. Because she's stepping back and she is saying, but this is my truth. This is where I need to be. This is how I need to move forward. And there is a power in that. And that's what's crowning the public arena. It's not everybody else. It's saying, what is it that I need to make it so that I can be the best that I can possibly be? Shine with the brightness. Remember, air feeds fire. This logic will feed the passion within your heart. But if you're giving everything to everybody else, the fire will not grow. Because everybody will be taking bits of it. Or there will not be the wind, the passion, the power of the voice, of the soul, of the self, Gemini, to keep that flame growing higher and higher. There's a sense of freedom here, if we can only take it. And then it moves us to the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant is so cool, because the Hierophant is the King of Kings. The Hierophant could tell kings, queens, emperors, empresses what to do. Because the Hierophant is represented by the Pope, represents the Pope in the major arcana of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And in medieval times, the Pope was everything. And so here, with the Hierophant, there is this power, this truth that needs to be embraced. It's like, this is me. Like it? Awesome. Don't like it? Fine. But I have to walk in what is true for me. And that's going to be the battle during this time, because we can see it at the heart. It's like, how do I walk in what is true to me and face the nightmares that I've had? Face the hardships that I've been through. Not fall into addiction. Let myself come out of the chrysalids. Break free. To claim and to study and to embrace the power of my voice. The power of where I stand. Because once that is done, it's like all of a sudden things start to become clearer. There starts to become illumination where there was once only darkness. And that becomes the powerful force that moves us forward, that has us looking at things so differently. The Hierophant is saying, be true to the essence of you. Do not compromise yourself for everybody else. Or for other people to feel, more comfortable, more like categorizingly, assured of things. No, this is where I need to stand. This is what I need to be. And there's an authority to it. And there's a power to it. And it brings us to the High Priestess. And I love the combination of the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Because in one of the decks, and I forget which telling of the tarot. It's not the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's another one. It's a very early tarot. The Hierophant is the male pope, right? Well, the High Priestess was a representation of the female pope, which in myth, and I don't know if it's true or not, is Pope Joan. And so here you have the sacred masculine power coming forward, and here you have the sacred feminine power coming forward. A power that was hidden, but no less powerful. Okay? A strength that one would have thought was denied, but it's embraced. But it's embraced in legend, if not truth. And so here, with the Hierophant, it's a claiming of a voice. It's a claiming of the power. And with the High Priestess, it's looking behind the veil and saying, I see what others do not see. I protect what others would destroy. I know, and therefore I am powerful. And it brings us to a place where we see beyond people's mess and we start to see the prosperity that gets to be in our lives. The air going through the trees, moving the earth, eroding the soil. It's bringing more. It's spreading the seeds. The air spreading the seeds. There is prosperity here, and it's being planted through knowledge, through ideas, through curiosity, through diving deeper, through expression, through unwavering, truth in self. It's like, I know my power. I know my limits. I see my fears, and I keep on moving forward. The King of Pentacles is prosperity and a bounty and abundance, and it's seeing the interconnectedness of things, where once we didn't see it. It's like, well, why would this matter? What divinity is saying is, why wouldn't it? This isn't departmentalizing our lives. This is embracing them truly, absolutely, and exquisitely. The King of Pentacles claims the power, claims the wealth, knows the earth and where he stands within it. And that's what we're doing here. There's a sense of freedom and knowledge. Now let's see what the spirit animal message is. Gemini, March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic, these three. So we have here the turtle spirit. It says slow and steady wins the race, which is one of the key messages from spirit here, is that it's not going to be done on the time that we want it to be done. It's going to be done in divine timing, which makes it sweet and makes it powerful and makes it a purposeful way forward. Slow and steady, thought out, and beautiful. It then brings us to the scarab beetle spirit. It says magic works through you. And it does. And remember, the scarab beetle was sacred in ancient Egypt. The magic works through you. It works with you in a way that you didn't realize, with a power you didn't know. But it's the power of the earth. It's the power of creation. It's the power of the combination of skills and talents and ideas and different ways of looking at things. New ideas are taking seed. And there's a magic to them. There's a mysticism to them. There's a deeper connection to divinity to them that rocks the world. And then we have the panther spirit. Reclaim your power. It is time. It's time to reclaim your power. Reclaim your voice. Say, I'm worth it. Because in no uncertain terms, you are. The subconscious spirit animal message is the cat spirit. Claim your independence. You're not beholden to anyone. Claim your independence. I mean, uphold your responsibilities, right? I think responsibilities are so important. Absolutely important. Claim your responsibilities, know your truth, but also claim your independence. Don't sacrifice everything you are just to be what everybody else wants, hopes, dreams, demands. The subconscious chakra message is communication. Communication is key, Gemini, to your existence. Here, when we are embracing communication, it's that communication with spirit. It's the knowing that you're communicating on multifaceted different levels, much more so than most people ever will be. And you communicate anyway so much more intensely than most people do. It's kind of like boredom is the worst thing for Geminis. It's not kind of like it is, like boredom is the worst thing for Geminis. So here you're communicating in a way that is your superpower. Know that others aren't, okay? So don't take offense by them because they're not keeping up. They just won't be able to. But have this communication with spirit in a way that is extraordinary, in a way that there's almost like a Gemini cricket sitting on your shoulder. It brings us then to the subconscious person message, which is the Lord. Aries energy, March 21st to April 19th. Determination, passion, power. This is the sacred masculine coming forward. It's like, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is where I'm headed. Goals and plans and mapping things out. Like you have the queens here. You have more queens in this reading than you do kings. You have 1 king and 2 queens. So it's going to be more wanting to do things behind the scenes, kind of wanting things to evolve a little bit more organically, naturally, creatively. But there is also the sense here of really knowing what you want, really focusing on what is desired. And the king and the Lord doesn't hold back. He claims his throne and he goes after single-mindedly. And so that's going to be a big part of you during this time. It's like going after things single-mindedly. But you have to be careful not to get too tunnel visioned, okay? And then we have the subconscious tarot message, which is the Tower. And the Tower is that things have fallen down. That weren't secure. But it had to change. It just did. Divinity pushed you out of your comfort zone. And this is what's happening. It's opening up a door, okay, that we didn't think would be opened. It's having us see things in a way that there wouldn't be that depth, there wouldn't be that brevity, there wouldn't be that exquisiteness if it had all just fallen into place before. Divinity has pushed us out of our comfort zone. And it's not a bad thing. But it does rock our world. And we can have been dealing with this for 16 years or better. The chaos, the upheaval, the doubts, the fears. But it is a change. And the end result is something exquisite. But because this is in our subconscious, because we know that we have lost before, we know things have been shaken up before, it can make us very kind of gun-shy. It can make us startle very easily. Oh, what's going to happen? I can't move forward this way. I can't start believing in myself. Wishes don't come true. You know, all these negative things coming forward because we have fallen in the past. Because divinity has pushed us in a way that we didn't want to go. We were perfectly happy in our world if we could have stayed there. The Tower is saying, don't be afraid of the journey that you're on. It's for a reason. And it's spiritually astoundingly significant. And where your prosperity comes from. Even if you don't realize it. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we are reborn in a way that we didn't anticipate, to a world that brings us closer to what we want than we realize. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever this feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.